Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. I'm your friend in the real estate business, Phil Nordella, and Taylor Williams-Moniz, who's on the phone texting, is your favorite real estate attorney, among other things. She's doing work. I get it. I get it. Yep. I saw it. You can't get
called her out.
Wow,
you're
totally
really
loud. Yeah, so I think I need maybe mine turned down because when you just said that, I almost lost my eardrums.
Oh, I'll bump your
Don't do that with your eardrums.
No, that would be bad, huh? Hey, you know what? Taylor obviously specializes in real estate law, business litigation, and estate planning, and I specialize in getting you moved from one house to another with a seamless transaction. How are you?
Yes, you do. I'm well.
Yes.
So
how are your feet?
I walk in, feels like, how are you? I'm like, my feet hurt in a way that I can't even describe. Yeah. Like,
in case you don't know, she's pregnant with twins.
Yeah, real pregnant.
Now, so you're like, what, 8 months now? 7 months?
Almost 8 months, yeah.
Almost 8 months.
Wow.
You know, you can barely tell.
The way that you said that, rolling your eyes, like, I'm too tired to be mad
that?
at you.
Yeah. I know one thing, you don't have the energy to hit me, which is good.
I probably always have the energy for that.
Oh,
no, everyone in my office is like, like from the back, you don't really look that pregnant. Like, you're just all like.
And it's funny, the stuff
like
that you
right
wear,
here.
you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. I
Nice
just kind of waddle about and just,
waddle.
hope they cook for like 6 more weeks.
And they'll be ready.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. No, things are good. So I was going to say, I unpacked the last box this morning.
Oh, my gosh.
Yay!
Good job.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, we still have things in boxes like high school yearbooks, Christmas stuff, fall stuff. That's in the garage. We definitely need to organize the garage. But in terms of like the house, she's done.
You know what, Taylor? That deserves a little sound effect. Let's play it.
Yeah. If you had any idea how hard I've worked in the last 2 weeks to get that place ready, and like shout out to every single person that's helped me because I've had so much help.
And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen now, okay? So the stuff that you haven't unpacked, figure that's going to get unpacked sometime about June of next year, except for the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
The Christmas stuff will be brought out.
Well, most of it is like my high school. Like my stepmom was like, "Oh, you're moving out? Great. Here's everything you've ever owned. Goodbye."
Right.
And like shipped it to me in LA, and I was like, "All right."
Yeah,
thanks.
we gave that to our kids too. All the sports memorabilia, trophies,
I
and stuff.
threw away so much stuff. It was like if I hadn't touched it from our small apartment to our big apartment, I threw it out.
Right.
And Greg Agug was like, "Let's look at it." I'm like, "You're right." And then Greg Agug went out of town, and I threw it away. So we didn't look at it, babe. If you're listening, it's gone. You don't even know what it is.
Hi, Greg Agug. I'm sorry. It takes me a while, but when you do that, it just like flows. I mean, that's just him now, huh?
Greg Agug. Triple G.
I love that.
Yeah. Anyway, so everything is good. Thank you for asking.
And Patrick, you're better.
Hi, I am
better. Much better.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, those Dodgers, huh?
Doyers.
I got to
Doyers.
tell you something real quick. San Diego scares me. They have made themselves very powerful. They spent a lot of money.
Yep.
But
they're still little brother.
The one thing that I like is the fact that the first game they beat Colorado 9-1, right? And I thought, oh God, this is going to be a great team. Colorado beat them yesterday. The Dodgers won again, so the Dodgers are 12.5 games in front. But this weekend is going to be huge.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
It's their new team against our team, and we lost Kershaw. And that's a bad thing, but it is what it is. So
I need to make sure that game is on Sunday during my son's first birthday party.
Wasn't a Vince Scully night tonight?
It's difficult for you to do because unless you have Spectrum.
We do.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And we get all Dodger games.
Yeah, we do.
Awesome.
Greg Agug made sure that we're locked down for all the Dodgers
we're locked
and the
in
Lakers.
too.
All right.
Yeah.
So I did something interesting this week. I saw the movie Nope, and if anybody asks you if you should see it, I would say just tell them nope. That's just my opinion. So that's my.
It must have been really bad because you've mentioned it to me multiple times.
The special effects were terrible.
I know that's what you were saying. I don't have time to watch a movie.
Maybe it was just a Key and Peele skit.
Here's the thing that cracks me
them.
up. I looked at People Magazine. People Magazine had the number. They were the number one thing that you should go see because it's awesome. It was phenomenal. And I'm
look at Americans as a society. I won't elaborate, but that's
I'm sorry. Some of their special
don't
effects.
see it. You're saying do not waste
do
your
not.
time.
If they
don't
ask
do
you
it.
to see Nope, say
The
Nope.
answer is
That's all. It's really pretty simple. But I mean, some of their
that.
special effects look like they were done with hefty bags. It's like, well, hefty bags don't belong in a really expensive movie.
When you say that, I have PTSD because my entire house was full of hefty bags, unpacking.
Definitely don't go see that because
that one was good.
Get Out was good. And
Yeah.
you know what? And that gave him a lot of money to be able to spend on this one. And the idea was good. It's just the special effects were stupid. Anyway, that's okay. Hey, by the numbers.
Hey,
yeah,
let's
you ready?
do it.
Yeah.
SCV.
by the numbers.
Okay. So active listings have gone down to Santa Clarita.
Okay.
Yeah, down to 603,
Okay.
which is interesting, and that's a good thing because and
wanted to guess.
Marla Ferris is going to be on the show in a second, and
Yep.
she's going to tell us about interest rates, which I'm actually excited about, which is interesting.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that.
Especially in the last
Excited
like
about
7
an interest rate.
last year.
I'm dying to hear about it.
336 are active under contract and pending, 336,
Okay.
and closed in the last 30 days, 290. 290.
290.
So now I'm going to go over one last number before I go into my favorite number. 123.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you 123. What does that number signify? Do you have any idea?
1, 2, 3.
123.
The first
Yeah, what
number.
is it?
Oh, is it? Am I actually right?
Well, yeah, it's 123. But what does it signify?
Oh.
And I said the
123.
first 3
got
numbers my son will
excited.
learn to count. One,
Yes, you are.
2,
Yeah,
3.
exactly right. That's a good one too. But both of those are wrong answers.
I have no idea.
Okay, how about you? That's it.
Coming
Final
soon?
answer? No.
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
It's our 123rd show.
Oh, yeah. You know,
Another? You
no,
coming up
that's
with
yeah. I'm
You
gonna
should have
give.
brought a balloon or something.
I'm gonna give us.
123.
That's
I,
fair.
I mean, I dig it.
Yeah.
Any excuse to celebrate, quite frankly.
I'm giving us this for this.
I
Just
get it. Okay, last thing before we bring in Marla. Last
yes.
thing. I'm excited about this. I'm sorry. I don't know how many other people are on the fence with me when it comes to this, but there's a guy out there, Alex Jones. I hate him. I hate him.
Okay.
He's one of those conspiracy theorists, podcasting guy
Right.
who gets on there and says whatever he wants to say to make a buck.
Right.
It doesn't matter. The more crazy, the better. And guess what?
A lot of it's out there. Very out
he's
there.
in trouble.
You know what?
He is in
just
trouble.
got and here's the interesting thing. They actually put some of the court case and they showed you video.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
that judge.
Yeah.
Because he would say, well, if you're thinking of suing me for more than $2 million, I just filed bankruptcy. I don't have any more than that. And she's like, do me a favor. Don't tell us how much money you have and how much money you don't
Yeah,
have.
exactly.
Or he would say, he would start answering questions with going into his podcast thing.
Yeah.
And she goes, Mr. Jones, this is not your podcast. Just answer the question. She had to tell him that over and
That's
over and
so
over again. Well,
frustrating.
guess what?
So
Because he
frustrating.
said that Sandy Hook didn't
Correct.
exist,
Was a hoax.
Lord.
and
I think were his words,
that
was
the
a hoax.
parents were like actors or
Right.
something, and he held to that. He lost $4 million,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't include punitive damages, which are coming. Do you want to
smiling, looking at
explain
me.
to us what punitive damages are?
Yeah, so punitive damages are meant to punish a wrongdoer and are
Punish.
connected
Phil's
to
eyes.
they're connected to an intentional act. So not a negligent oops, but I intentionally hit you with my car. I intentionally made up a conspiracy, right? So the court's like, no. So your punitive damages can be 10 times your general damages.
Oh, boom!
But.
But you know what they were saying at the time before he filed bankruptcy that he may have been worth $40 million.
Well, okay, I'm a bankruptcy attorney too, so give me 2 seconds to respond to that. But so
Yeah.
initially, most courts don't order 10 times. That's pretty egregious.
Sure.
It's typically 3 to 4 times. And then also bankruptcy,
with that.
Yeah.
you can't just go around spouting that you can file bankruptcy. It's actually like you have to meet certain qualifications for certain chapters.
It's
so
like The Office with Michael Scott
but so
declaring bankruptcy.
Yeah, I mean the great thing is he could file bankruptcy, but that means okay, you still can't get rid of your debt depending on what your income is. You have to pay back your debt. It's just over a certain period of time and a certain percentage. So like, okay, good, file bankruptcy. You're not going to get rid of it, dude.
He actually had the
Annoying.
nerve, and I listened to him. He was sitting there, and he was sitting at his table. He wasn't even in the pulpit or whatever you call it. But and the judge is looking
Lord
down at him, and he
Jesus.
says, "Yeah, well, Your Honor, I mean, I filed bankruptcy, so anything over $2 million would be ridiculous." He goes, and she smacked him, right? She went, "You know what? Don't tell us how, the type of money you have. Don't tell us you
it's
filed
irrelevant.
bankruptcy."
No one cares.
Yeah, exactly right, which
Shush.
is funny, and I like that.
And that's unusual. If a judge gets involved, it's typically the attorney that's asking you the questions. That's like, move to strike is not responsive. Like, answer the friggin' question. If the judge is getting involved, no, ma'am.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
so
Oh no, I'm with you, Phil. I'm with you.
because those poor families that suffered the unthinkable, to
Yeah.
even have to
Yeah.
deal with somebody like this. I mean, I agree. He can, yeah.
yeah.
Well, they slam him with big punies.
He can sit and spin.
Hey,
That's
so
what he can do.
let's talk about something happier because you want to
because
talk
this
about
is-
interest rates.
Oh, you know
We've
what?
got
We
a-
teased this last
we got a guest.
week,
We
and I'm
did.
so excited. Marla Ferris from Augusta Financial. She is awesome. Marla, you there?
Marla's in the house.
Yeah. I love that. Marla is lender extraordinaire from Augusta Financial, and and she's going to talk about something that I teased last week. But first, we've got some questions for her, and then we're going to actually go over to what I want to talk about, which is kind of exciting.
But first, I'm wondering, Marla, do you miss me texting and emailing you like 4 times a day? Is there a hole in your day that now I'm not bothering you?
You know what, Taylor? You always ask the best questions, and the thing I love the most are smart clients.
Oh, thank
So
you.
thank you. We always had good conversations.
Now that's
we always had good things to say to each other.
We did,
Like,
absolutely.
I told you what I needed.
Very
You got it
productive.
for me.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was
Hang on a
great.
second. Stop the clock here. I've been your client 4 times already when it comes to refis. You've never told me I've asked you smart questions.
No, you even say you don't read the paperwork.
Well, you know what, Phil? You literally pass your file to me, and I just take it.
Yeah.
So
Exactly right.
And then I talk to Judy.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's funny.
So speaking of home ownership, which again, thank you to you, Greg and I are super happy. We love our little house. You'll have to come over. It's
Yay.
It's so nice. So what are you seeing right now as the main issue or impediment to home ownership?
Well, home ownership has been everybody's goal forever because the government gives us all these great tax breaks. But some of the biggest downfalls are down payment, monthly payment, the raising values, and credit issues.
Okay.
But I'm going to break those down a little bit.
Okay.
You know, down payment is probably the biggest because people, some people are still under the impression they need 20% down to buy a home.
Right.
And so many, many years ago, they came up with the private mortgage insurance so that people could do less than 20%, and they would add a little insurance policy on there. The other thing, people are living paycheck to paycheck, and with COVID and everything, it has just been harder and harder for people to save for a down payment.
Definitely.
And so that's probably the 2 biggest, reasons why people can't save. But the last couple years, people have been gaining some money in their investment accounts, and I've been seeing a lot of parents gifting money to their kids or just the employees getting into their 401ks and seeing it higher. And so they're taking money out of there to buy houses. So we have lots of solutions for the down payment.
That's good.
Rising values, that's just part of our inflationary matters and the fact that there's such a high demand for homes.
Right.
And sometimes we have credit issues, which I am the pro at looking at your credit, figuring out how to rehab it, repair it, restore it. The better the score, the better loan you're going to get.
Yep.
She was great at that. I mean, she looked at ours and we had, not Greg obviously, but, I've got ye old Nordstrom card and everything. And we kind of talked about like what to pay, what not to touch, so it's very strategic, but you do help a lot with that.
A lot of people think that all they do is call a lender and it's done. But you know what? It's not. It's like it takes a lot for you to put things together. And I know I've brought her clients 1 year, and she'll say, well, I've got to work on them, obviously. They're not ready to be put in the car. And then, 6, 12, 18 months later, she'll come, guess what? They're ready. I'm like, who's ready? And they'll go, you remember those people? I go, no. She'll go, okay, well, you gave them to me. Anyway, hey,
she pays attention.
Yeah, it's a process. There's so many layers to loan.
So this blew me away. Okay, I'll be honest. I was helping some clients, right? A client, I should say, young guy, buy a place, and she came back and she said, "Well, this is the way I've structured it." And I went, "Okay." And she said, "And I'll have you tell them exactly what the thing was." And I thought, "Oh, you know what? That's bad because I think isn't that going to take." That's going to take forever because it's, whatever. And she goes, no, it really won't. And I went, oh, God, it sounds like that's fine. I mean, go for it. But, I hope it doesn't take like 3 months.
You just mean the type of loan?
Yes.
Okay.
Because she got them 10%. Mm-hmm. She had 10%, and she got them another 10% from a government-backed loan that they don't have to pay back.
Very cool.
Oh, my God. It was amazing. So anyway, talk to us about that.
That is cool.
Because not only did she get this for them, but she got it to where we're closing, I think, next week. And that was like 30 days for both loans.
That's awesome.
It's nuts. What was that?
It was awesome.
Talk to us about that.
Well, Well, I'm going to recap a little bit because we had our borrower since last year.
Yeah.
And he originally only had 5% down.
Oh.
And we all know that the prices just kept rising. And then after the first of the year, the rates kept rising. So we kept,
Yes, it kept going
first
down.
he was at, first he was
his
at
buying
this
power.
price, and then we had it go down, down. And he just, because of his limited down payment and limited ability, debt ratio-wise, he was getting outbid every time, and sometimes it was just by $2,000 or $3,000, or sometimes it was by $5,000 or $10,000.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And so we were just brutally going, for months and months trying to get this guy something. And then CalHFA, which is our California Housing Finance Agency, they came out with a program several months ago, and it's called the Forgivable Equity Builder Loan. And it gives first-time home buyers who are in the low to moderate income levels, gives them a head start with immediate equity by giving them 10% of the purchase price of the home. So even if you had no money down, now you've got 10% down. You can use 5% for the down payment, 5% for the closing costs, or however you want to mix and match
that's
that
very cool.
10%.
Yeah.
But what the beauty of our client is he had some money of his own, but he was still getting, a lot of realtors, a lot of sellers. They're like, oh, this is low down payment. What happens if the appraisal's short? Does he have enough money to come in with? And so he was getting outbid a lot or not getting accepted a lot. So he had some money. I took his money. I added it to the 10%, and now we have a 20% down loan.
That's great.
And one of his impediments was monthly payment and qualifying. And so at 20%, and now you have no PMI. Now you can afford more. Now you have more in case there's an appraisal shortage. So it was a beautiful pairing, and knowing the program and knowing how to work with the borrower's qualifications, with the program qualifications. And the first time we went in there with this program, we got our offer accepted. I explained it to both agents. They were very comfortable. And it's just working and it's opening doors to a lot of buyers. And
unbelievable.
They have similar programs in years past, but they were very, very limited. And even this year on this program, they our 2022 income limits came up almost by $20,000 in LA County. So last year, only people in the $60,000 range could qualify. Now you could be all the way up in the high 70s and qualify for this program.
Wow.
And then they also raised the debt ratio. They used to say, oh, we're going to cap your ratio at 40% or 42, and now they brought it up to 50. So
wow,
opens
50%.
the doors to an amazing group of people, and you can use it for a single-family home, a condo home, PUD home, and most of the manufactured homes.
That is unbelievable.
That is great.
Well, you know what? I'm very excited, and obviously we're running out of time because we have to break for a commercial. We're getting that signed. But unbelievable. Thank you so much for this. And do me a favor, when it comes to the first-time home buyers with this program, you need to call Marla Ferris. And how do they get a hold of you, Marla?
Oh, I am glued to my phone and my computer, so 661-510-7989.
I got that memorized.
And then marlaferris.com.
MarlaFerris.com, 510-7989. That's awesome,
Yes,
Marla. You know, I can talk to you through the entire thing, but
okay, I have
unfortunately.
one message for Taylor.
Yes. Uh-oh.
Okay, you guys, I didn't even know how you're doing your good Greg.
Good Greg.
But I want to give your husband a new name. Can you write this down? I'm going to call him G to the double G.
Oh,
I like it.
I like that too.
That's
Way
good.
better than the...
You know what?
G to the double G.
G to the double G,
Got a little-
triple G. We've got that. We've got Greg,
I know
and
how
now.
you spell his name. So I
Now,
thought,
you know what, Marla? The one that's sticking with me is the way you said it the first time, Greg.
Greg is so good.
I got it wrong.
Poor Greg.
I stumbled on the first one. You guys stumble on the second.
You know what?
Okay.
It's all said with love.
I love
That's
it.
the important
I
thing.
will let him know, absolutely.
Marla,
Thank you.
thank you. Marla, thank you.
Marla. Marla. Thank you very much.
No.
Hey.
Okay, guys, have a great weekend.
Thank
Awesome.
you, you too.
Thanks.
So we're gonna take.
Appreciate it.
Are we gonna take our quick break
I
and
think
come
we-
back with what
I-
we meant to start
I
with?
think we
So
should.
stay tuned. We got good stuff coming up.
Yep. Okay, hey, welcome back to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. Again, it's me, it's Taylor, it's Patrick. We just had Marla Ferris from Augusta Financial. She was terrific. She's going to come back on the show and talk about buy downs, which is great. So we're going to have it on the show because
be
that's
very
very
interesting.
relevant.
Absolutely.
But first, we're going to do, which we should have done at the beginning of the show, we're going to do the swooshes. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's a 1-minute preview on what else is coming up on today's show.
Let's talk about lawsuits. FTC fines Open Door $62 million for allegedly tricking consumers.
Home buyers sue REX after losing $140,000 in wire transfer funds.
Is the great reshuffling about to go in reverse? We'll explain what that means.
TikToker slams Airbnb's host for renting out former slave cabins.
Yikes. Bid My Listing aims to win listing leads with direct payments to sellers.
The 10 most affordable American cities to retire in 2022.
And these are the 10 states where homes are taking the longest to sell.
All that and less on the rest of today's show. Hey, I've got a conspiracy theory. Okay.
Shocking.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
love
yeah,
these.
yeah. And you just tell me whether you think there's any validity to it.
Okay.
Have you noticed that gas prices have been paralleling or mirroring interest rates? Check it
No.
out. So we were at $4 a gallon. We went to $5 a gallon. We went over $6 a gallon, and we brought it back down for some reason. They're saying, okay, you know what I think happens? I think they go, you know what? Let's throw them some ridiculous thing, and then we'll bring it back down. They go, oh my God, we're only at $5.50 a gallon, right? So, but that's where they're at, right? So interest rates went
Should
from
see the face I'm
$3
giving Phil
to
right now.
$4 to $5 to over $6.
Yes, we
right?
were there.
Percent. And now we're back down to about 5.5, which is basically exactly what the gas prices are. I mean, come on. Talk to
I'm
me.
picturing him in the room with like circles and
Me
the
too.
lines that are extending everywhere.
Connecting the dots with a
Yeah.
string.
Yeah.
Going all over the place.
That's exactly how I'm picturing you right
This is what he
in your
does.
basement.
Poor Judy.
With the growth, dark circles under my
Yeah,
eyes. I haven't
exactly.
slept in weeks.
You're just like,
Found it.
you're like, Judy, I found it. I cracked the case. No one believes me.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Where-
I'm just saying.
Where's the piece of paper that you have for the show that has the person drawn on it? You have it?
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah.
Let me see.
Sorry, I was gonna ask what I didn't want. I didn't want to take away from Marla, but I mean, obviously, I joke. Phil's the font at which he prints is like 25 times 900, so I can read it. Like literally, I could be like in
From
the
the
bathroom
moon.
and read the font. And so sometimes I peek over there and make sure we're on the same page. And he happened to have this one article that he's got a little smiley face drawn on it and
my
highlighter.
it's
and
my
then,
birthday.
Okay.
I'm telling you, well, first we start with Alec Jones. That's like the appetizer. Right?
Alex Jones, yeah.
And here's the main course, and then we have dessert after. Don't worry. So wait for dessert.
Oh, he texts
But
me
here-
throughout the week, like all these horrible things that are happening, and he's like, so excited, can't wait to talk about the show.
Well, you have to understand. You know, I put a lot of hours in the fact that I hate Open Door because they're full of
Baloney.
baloney. Yeah. Okay.
I
So
gotcha.
and I mean and I even had some people who really needed some money, and they were going to actually have me come out and talk to them about listing their house.
Okay.
And they said, you know what, we're trying to spruce it up a little bit, and we're going to have you come out right after we spruce it up. And I finally called them up and said, hey, how you doing on the spruce up? And they go, oh, we sold Open Door. And I went, oh my God. I go,
Heart failure.
okay, so may I ask why? And they went, yeah, because when the guy came out, he goes, we're never going to be able to sell this house because we're across the street from a gas station. And
Oh
I
my
went,
God. If
what?
you're like a kid in high school, it'd be like a dream, like sneak out and buy Doritos at like 10 p.m.
And I said, oh my God.
Never run out of gas.
I was that kid in high school too.
Totally. So,
So
my brother.
anyway, so I delight
Sad.
in the fact that the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, fines Open Door $62 million for allegedly tricking consumers.
He wrote me, like he texted me this and he's like, this is the best day. And then he sent me our next story and he goes, is today my birthday?
My birthday.
So
You know,
excited.
Alex Jones, Open Door. Okay, regulators with the Federal Trade Commission on Monday accused the iBuyers of cheating and tricking consumers. Wow. We knew that. I knew that. I mean, look, I've got goosebumps.
He does have goosebumps.
Open Door disagrees with the allegation, but has agreed to settle the case. Look, okay, so look, I disagree, but I'll pay you your $62 million.
So that actually happens all the time.
Well, they're not going to say, "Well, we agree, and we're going to pay you the $62
No,
million."
but a lot of times it's you want to settle it and get it out of the press, especially in this situation.
Sure.
Right? You want to be done with it.
My job is to keep it in the press as long as possible. The Federal
and
Trade
here we are.
The Federal Trade Commission announced the case and the settlement with the iBuyer in a statement. The statement argues that Open Door pitched potential sellers using misleading and deceptive information.
And read what it is. Yeah, this is the big thing.
They would make more money by selling to the iBuyer than they would on the open market.
That's what all of these people think.
Exactly.
And it's going to be so much faster, and I don't have to pay an agent. So I'm going to save so much money.
And you don't get COVID, and you However, the statement adds, most people who sold to Open Door made thousands of dollars, wait for it, less than they would have made selling their homes using their traditional process.
Hey, was that real sexy listing with the 2-car garage? Was that an Open Door one?
And it still is.
Right?
And it's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Their
Shocking.
description of a place in Stevenson Ranch was over $1 million. Their description was, this house has a 2-car garage.
I know.
No, a 3-car garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 3-car garage.
I
That
know.
was it.
I saw it.
That's
I giggled. It was a beautiful
Okay.
house.
Open Door promised to revolutionize the real estate market, but built its business using old-fashioned deception. This is nothing innovative about cheating consumers. The statement goes on to cite Open Door marketing materials about consumer proceeds and argues home sellers lost money thanks to below-market offers and homes and higher costs compared to using a traditional agent. The FTC also believes Open Door misrepresented other facts, including that the company makes money from fees when in fact it earns via buying low and selling high. So they go out there, they tell you, oh my God, this is the best deal you're ever going to get. And there's a lot of people go, I don't know the difference, so okay. And I bet these men and women are savvy. I bet they're like, if you and I pitch someone, they're going to buy whatever we're pitching, right? Because we're those type of people. I bet a lot of these Open Door people are the same way. Yep. And then they turn around, they move them out, they give them their check, right? And then a week later, they don't do anything to the property, and they list it for $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 more.
Because I bet you that listing has more than just the 2-car garage. Right?
Open Door has settled the case, agreeing to pay the $62 million. The FTC statement also indicates Open Door agreed to stop deceiving potential home sellers and to stop making baseless claims. Open Door responded to the case with its own statement Monday, saying, we strongly disagree with the FTC allegations. However, the company agreed to settle because we are in doing so, will allow us to resolve the matter and focus on helping consumers buy, sell, and move with simplicity, certainty, and speed. In other words, we're going back at it,
right,
but now we're just not going to tell them that they're going to make money. Anyway, you know what? There's more. I'm not going to go into it. I'm just delighted.
Yeah, I mean, anybody listening, if you're thinking of going that route, just at least call Phil and hear what he has to say.
And another thing that
get both options.
I'm kind of delighted with. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Another thing I'm kind of delighted with.
What's
2
that?
years ago, their stock was at $38 per share, and now it's $4.96.
I think that's your favorite thing when they get a kick in the pants and their stock drops. That makes Phil happy too.
$4.96.
Which makes me laugh because you're like the most positive. Not you like you are probably one of the most positive individuals I've ever met. But things like this just make you so happy.
I'm positive that I like this. This is good.
I think it's good too.
OfferPad, in case you're wondering, the other iBuyer company at one time was $22 a share. Now they're at $2.01.
I don't see a lot of OfferPad ads and whatnot. They're pretty much all Open Door.
Yep. And Zillow 2 years ago,
your favorite.
Their stock was at $203. Today they're at $37.66.
Wow.
Not great.
Look at you. He has a little twinkle in his eye.
So OfferPad, you go and hang out with Alex Jones and we'll all be good.
Ooh, he's taking it there. Yeah. He's spicy today.
Yep.
Spicy Phil.
How about this? Okay, here's the dessert. Okay.
Which I will readily eat now.
Home buyers. Yep. A home buyer sue REX after losing $140,000 in wire fraud scam.
This scares the piss out of me if I can say that word. Like when we wired all of our money for our down payment, Greg and I had like sweaty palms. We're like calling the escrow. We're like, "Can you get the money? Like, is it floating in the air?"
No, and this I want you to weigh on.
This is my worst nightmare.
I'll bring this up to bring everybody up to speed with this, and then I
Okay.
want you to weigh on it because weigh in on it because it's I've got my own thoughts. And
Shocking.
This is,
Hey, I bet you mine may disagree with you. But let's see.
No. I think we're probably going to be along the same lines here.
Okay.
The complaint alleges negligence and breach of fiduciary duty after an unknown third party impersonated the brokerage's title company and sent the buyers fraudulent wiring instructions.
Oh, that's so scary.
Yeah, so let me kind of give you an idea
man.
of when this started. What happened is there were these people that were probably from other country, and they figured out a way to get into people's emails.
You mean these people, like the hackers, are in another
The
country?
hackers,
Got it. Or
exactly
another
right.
country.
Okay,
not the buyers.
no, not the buyers. Yeah. So what they do is they figure out a way to get into these people's emails that are in escrow.
Right.
So what happens is what they do is they've got obviously these bot things that actually pick up
Way above our
when
pay
there's
grade.
communication from
Right.
escrow companies to the people, and if they actually pull up something that says you need to actually wire your down payment or you need to wire your deposit to the certain wiring number. And what they do is, as soon as the escrow company gives them that number, then what will happen is they'll either call them or they will email them saying, "Sorry, we made a mistake. That's not the right routing number. Please route it to this number." And people go, "Okay, well, I just talked to them 5 minutes ago, and they just sent me an email, so obviously that's." And they send it to this thing,
Yeah.
and then with 30 seconds, that money, 40,000, 50,000, 200,000, whatever it is gone from there to somewhere in
It's
China,
gone.
and then
It's
to
gone.
Russia, and then see ya.
Yeah, it's gone.
And so what happened was that became so prevalent, because I used to own an escrow company, that became so prevalent that they came with the wire fraud advisory form. And so people actually have to sign this now saying, look, you have to understand, this is what's happening. You have to be aware of this.
Right.
Okay, so that's kind of a scary thing. So it says...
Or call your escrow company and wait on hold like I did to make sure that they got our American dollars. Oh, yeah.
And I tell all my clients, as
Annoying.
all possible, look, anytime something changes hands, really, we've got to be careful
Pay
of it. So it
attention.
says, in what may be a harbinger of similar suits as wire fraud becomes even more common, homebuyers are suing discount brokerage REX, which we know they're whacked.
Another one of Phil's favorites.
After they lost more than $140,000 to a scammer impersonating their title company. So what happens is REX actually uses a certain title company, and they probably use the same escrow company. So when you buy something, they control everything because they have to actually represent you and them. It's always a double end. And so, according to the July 28th complaint, Harold Michael Carter and Carol Lynn Carter agreed to purchase a property at 121 Spoonbill Point.
That's cute.
In St. Augustine,
It's no
Florida.
dingleberry.
I was wondering if you were going to hit me with that.
Yep.
In March, for $625,000, REX was the listing broker for the property. The complaint alleges that REX required the Carters to use its wholly owned subsidiary, Iron Crest National Title Agency, as the closing agent for the transaction. Well, I guess what happened was they received the communication purportedly from Iron Crest with wiring instructions for $140,599.43 in closing costs, which is interesting when it comes to closing costs. That's a lot of closing costs.
That is.
Obviously.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah. In reality, the communication was sent from an unknown third party that had acquired all the information relating to the closing and the transactions.
Sad.
The complaint said. On March 8th, the Carters, acting in reliance on the information provided, wired the closing funds to an unknown third party. Bye-bye. It's gone. So now, without reading the rest of this, obviously they've got a problem
he
with it.
highlights things that he wants to read, and today, like every other day, the entire article is highlighted. Why do you
I know.
see? Whereas
Because
I have one little read this paragraph.
This
is the
it.
important part.
This is it. Yep. Well, this is one of the things that I underlined. Look, it says wire fraud scammers target 1 in 3 real estate transactions.
Wow.
That's not true.
Oh.
1 in 3?
I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not even. What's their definition of target? I mean, if did they know about these things and they decided not to go after them? Because that would be really crazy.
You think that's high?
Yeah, it's probably 1 in 250.
Got it.
but 1 in 3 is that was done for effect
Got
here at this with this article. But so here's the trick now. My question to you is, what do you think? They signed a wire fraud advisory. Obviously, they were never brought up to speed when it comes to one of the REX agents that know what the heck they're doing. Maybe. I'm just saying my opinion. They obviously weren't told. They were just sent a bunch of papers and said, "Here, sign." But if they actually were sat down like I would do and say, "Hey, look, make sure any wire that goes out, any communication in any minor that changes hands, please, we've got to talk about it. It's really important."
Yeah.
So, do they have a case?
I think so.
Oh.
You don't think so?
No. I'm just saying
think they do.
if they sign the wire fraud advisory saying I get it, you're still saying
I think
that
so. So I think you're focusing on the wrong party.
Got
so what they're saying is that the who is it? The Iron Crest. They are the ones that owed the fiduciary duty. They and REX have a fiduciary duty to you, the buyer, to make sure that they're keeping all their ducks in a row and they're paying attention to when money is being wired to them, right? To communicate with people that are wiring money to them. Like they should have done a better job as a fiduciary.
Okay, so let's just say at the end of the day, Ironclad or whatever it's called. What's it called?
I like Clad. That's good too.
Iron, that's better.
Yeah.
So what if they go? We had no communication with them when it came to their down payment wasn't or their closing costs weren't due for another week. We don't know why they got that thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's hard. I think there has to be some communication with them, and even if it is due in a week, I mean, still, I mean, we were getting emails from our title company all the time. You know, hey, how's it going? Hey, you haven't filled this out. Hey, let us know when you're going to wire it. Yeah, like I mean, they were very diligent with us so that we were all on the same page.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, so I think they have a case. That's my answer is yes.
Okay, I like it.
It's also in Florida. Everybody got a case in Florida. It's a little different than California. We have to take a break.
Oh, man. You know what? Here's what's sad. We've got about 15 things to get to, and we've gotten to 4
And
of
we're
them.
actually already late. So let's take a quick break, and we will decide what nonsense we will. Yeah, exactly. What we'll come back with.
Okay.
Stay with us.
Hey, okay. Guess what? We're back, and we're on a roll. Welcome back to Real Estate and Other Stuff on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Taylor, Patrick, and we're going. And we got to go quick because we never get to everything.
No, and we had good stuff this.
Yes, we do. Okay, so here's the great reshuffling. You know what great reshuffling is? Is as soon as COVID hit, everybody decided, I'm going to work out of the house, and then I'm going to sell my house, and I'm going to move somewhere else. So they actually did that. So see this big, huge file here?
A lot of people
At the end of it, they're saying, will everybody move back? Will the great reshuffling actually say people are actually there and they're going to move back now? The answer is no. That's it.
No.
That's what I got out of the article. It was like, oh, I want to find out. People moved and they're working out of their house, and it's like, so now.
I spent like 11 minutes reading that. I can never get those 11 minutes back.
Will they do it? No.
How about this? Bid My Listing aims to win listing leads with direct payments to sellers. So normally you would actually pay like Zillow a bunch of money per month to give you leads that suck. Right, and then you call them up and they go, you know what? I'm really tired of everybody calling me.
You being an agent?
Yes,
Got it.
exactly right. I'm sorry. Yeah, good. Thank you.
I'm just trying to keep our listeners are like
perfect.
trying to hold on here.
All over the place. So what these people do is say, you know what? Instead of actually paying for leads, what we do is we actually get somebody that says, hey, we'll bring you somebody that's good, and they'll pay you to sell your house. Okay, so follow me.
All right, let's break that down a little bit.
So we'll pay. They're actually going to write you a check to sell your house.
So I'm going to sell my house.
Yes.
Let's
okay.
use me
So
as
what
this
you do is you go to Bid My Listing and you say, okay, that's fine. So what they do is they put it out there for bid. Okay. The bid though is how much will you pay to get this person's listing? Go out there and list them for a certain percentage. So they'll say it's a 5.
You being the agent will pay to get my Taylor's listing.
So rough figure. So what I did was I actually got online with them.
Did you math?
I did.
Wow.
Not only did I get online, but to actually get the information, I had to give them my credit card, right? And they said, "Don't worry, the credit card won't be done unless you win an actual bid." And so I'm like, okay, well, if there's any in Santa Clarita, I'll actually look at it. And if I bid, let's just say the commission's 5%, so you're 2.5% on $1 million. That's $25,000. If I bid on it and I get it for $6,000, I'm going to make some money, right?
Right.
Okay. So I actually go, anything in Santa Clarita? No. Anything anywhere? No. Nothing was within.
Anything anywhere?
Yeah. They had about
this is a successful business model.
6 listings within 40 miles.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, okay, well, this is stupid. But I started looking because it'll actually tell you what the highest bid is so far. And it'll tell you how long you have to bid on it, right?
So it's
Well,
like eBay for.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, that's
and I actually
interesting.
I saw some, the bid was $1,000 for a house in Hesperia, wherever that is, right? And it's a tear down, obviously.
I know where Hesperia.
I don't.
So anyway,
Yes, that's
but
funny.
there was one that was $2.5 million. Somebody bid $47,000.
Shut up.
$47,000. And I
mean,
started
is-
thinking the
is
actual
Part of that
sale.
also is because you can say that you sold the $2.5 million house.
I have
maybe?
no idea, or maybe they can just say, "Look, I did this because I'm brain damaged." I don't know.
Oh, that one.
That's
Yeah,
the other one.
that
Because
one.
that's the
I
only
didn't
one
think about that.
that I can come up with. Because who bids? Oh, by the way, they say, if you list it and it doesn't go through, you lose that money.
don't get your money
You don't
back.
get your money
Yeah.
back. This is a one-time
this is a
thing.
bad
so
idea.
yeah, and I started thinking, well, what's the 2.5% on the 2.4 million? I think it was like $65,000. So they're listing something and actually making $12,000 on it, which didn't make any sense. But we're on a roll.
Wow.
Okay, last thing.
So we say
before,
to
yeah,
that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Got it.
A TikToker slams Airbnb host for renting out former slave cabins. That's just weird. Several cottages that once housed slaves are now available to rent out on Airbnb as chic luxury stays, drawing outrage on social media, including from a prominent TikToker, entertainment and civil rights attorney Winton Yates, who used the TikTok
That's a
handle
name.
at Lawyer Winton.
One of these girls is
speci-
going to be Winton now. Sorry, I love that name. Sorry, Greg.
specifically called out an Airbnb listing, the Panther Burn Cottage at Belmont Plantation in Greenville, Mississippi, which has been removed. It's been removed since then.
Yeah.
How is this okay if somebody's to rent this out? I mean,
Yeah, that's a hard no.
It's just messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we won't go any further into that. But
Yeah, that's a hard no.
and they were saying
Definitely.
Yeah, they were saying how is it the same? I mean, obviously now it's got a clawfoot tub, running water tiles, nice lighting fixtures, water towels, dresser. He goes, it didn't have those type of things when. Yeah, but see, these are things that if they were
It's
in
just you
the
can't-
condition, these are things that I like to go see as historical things.
I was just
And
about
take-
to say
yeah.
if you left it as is, it's kind of a historical. This is what happened.
I
This
take
is a
the
dark
tour
part of our
and see
history.
exactly right.
Absolutely, that
I'm
I
in.
think would be informative. But
I'm in for that.
yeah, no.
But I'm not in for somebody selling me on the fact that I should stay there because it was what it was.
Fair.
Yeesh.
So we have about a minute left.
Nice.
Unfortunately. And since you are not going to be bidding on my listing, hopefully people will call you organically to ask you to list their home.
By the way, I called him back and said, "Can you actually remove me completely?
Yeah.
Take out my thing, everything."
You should have given him my credit card. It's probably maxed out after moving, right? It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Next time, do
I'd
that.
like to bid $67 on this house.
I think I have that much credit.
Okay,
Anyway, how can they find you?
You know what? They can get me at philnordella.com or you can call me at 661-312-3561. How about you?
661-259-9000 or dywlaw.com.
Nice.
Yep.
You gonna have a nice weekend?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I
It's
can't wait to see you
Cameron's
Sunday.
first birthday party on
Yay.
Sunday. I know.
He's the man.
I know.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited. And it's kind of like everybody seeing the house. So
And Greg gets to be there?
we don't know yet.
Oh, jeez.
American Airlines, let my husband come home, please.
Yay.
And everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Have
Thank
a wonderful
you for
weekend. We'll see you
listening.
next week with any luck.
black